Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that was sent to me by one of our brother. The translation reads like this: Do you know that I was buried alive in a money-making ritual? But I could not last that long. I was told that I was supposed to be 12 hours inside that coffin, but I could not. I screamed even before 30 minutes had lasted because of the several creatures that I kept on seeing as they were creeping inside that coffin. So the way that these people bury you in that moment when you are being buried alive in a money-making ritual, they put you inside a coffin, but it is like a special coffin, and they have to dig up a grave and then they put you inside that grave for up to 12 hours. So this coffin, it is designed in such a way that they put a rope, and whenever you feel like you cannot continue with the ritual, when you pull that rope, the people that will be waiting for you on the outside, those that are assistants to this traditional healer, then they will be left with no choice. If you have given up, you have given up. They cannot force you to continue with the ritual. So I said, only 12 hours with all the powers that the traditional healer is going to give to me, it will be done. All that I wanted in that moment was money. But the moment that I got myself inside that coffin, as the coffin was closed, all that I could see was darkness. I started hearing voices as I heard that they were carrying me and then they were dropping me into that grave. I kept on hearing voices that were speaking with me. The voices I could tolerate, but what I could not tolerate were the creatures that started crawling inside this coffin. So I am a person that has a phobia with snakes. Anything that crawls, I have that type of a phobia. So the first creature that I felt that was crawling all over my chest, and mind you, when you are performing this ritual, they place you inside that coffin, you'll be as hungry as hell. I had to spend 3 days only drinking water. And if you are not fit, I heard that you can even die performing that ritual. 3 days they starved me to death. They said that when the human body has been starved, then it brings itself closer with its spiritual being. I guess that is why Christians fast a lot anyway. When I was inside that coffin, I felt something that was crawling on my chest, and I felt that this was a millipede that was crawling on my chest. And then the creatures, they started coming out of nowhere, your spiders. The thing that I could not tolerate was when I felt something that was really cold down there on my feet, and I knew that it was a snake. This was almost 30 minutes into the ritual. I said, if this is the first 30 minutes, if this is the hell that the traditional healer has told me that I am going to witness hell, and I am going to be brought back from hell, and then I can start to make money, how about the 11 and a half hours? I could not do it. The voices, they kept on whispering, and each and every time that they whispered, it was as if someone was just pressing thorns into my ears. It was quite terrible to listen to those voices. How did I end up being inside of that coffin? This is what happened. I had came to South Africa hoping and thinking that South Africa, you can be whatever that you imagine. The jobs were quite scarce. I found myself in Hillbrow working for this other Pakistan man who was fixing cell phones. The man was quite heartless. Sometimes he will say that I don't have money to give you. If I did not bring enough customers for that day, I will know that I would have worked for free. He was quite heartless, that man. So I had Wi-Fi at the place where I was working. I was always on social media until one day I came across this other friend of mine. Me and him, we had gone to school together. I saw that behind him, at the place where he was standing, there were two beautiful black Mercedes-Benz AMGs. I was like, this guy, how did he get so rich like this? I never imagined that this guy was going to be rich. I used to know this guy. He used to suffer. And then this guy, I spoke with him, and to my surprise, he responded and he said that he had been looking for me and searching for me on Facebook because he had been told that he was supposed to assist me. And the reason as to why he was unable to find me was that on Facebook, I was not using my first name and my surname. I was just using my nickname, so he did not know the nickname that I had given myself after high school. He told me at that time that he was at Komateport and he was on his way going to Chimoyo there in Mozambique because he had some businesses that he wanted to handle there. And I was like, wow, dude, so you mean that you are that rich? He even sent me the video as he was driving in Mozambique, and he laughed and he said, are you ready to be rich? And I said, yeah, I am. And he said, we will speak on my way returning back to South Africa. He then invited me to his place in 4 ways. I used to hear about the rich people that were staying that side, and he said, no, this place that I am staying, it is one of the cheapest apartments that I own here in Gauteng. I'll take you to my mansion. This other time that we went there, that was when he told me about wanting to go with me to Mozambique on his next trip. So I said, it is fine, we will go together. But he said that you need to know that there are things that are going to happen there, things that will change you forever. So it is up to you. No one is born rich. You need to make sure that if you are born poor, you will die as a wealthy man. And he was showing me some of the wealthy people that are from Zim, saying that this one, do you know that he did rituals even at the place where I did those rituals? That is why you see them blowing all of this money like this. It is because the money, it belongs to the shrine, and the money that belongs to the shrine, you need to spend it like no man's business. You need to give people even weird gifts that do not make sense. You'll be fulfilling your rituals. We were going over Facebook during those days. There was a man who ended up perishing in an accident who used to host a lot of white parties, not wanting to mention his name. He was telling me that he had met this man at that same place where he did his own ritual. He said, for you to become rich, are you ready to be buried? He told me that as for him, he was not buried for 12 hours, but he opted for 24 hours. He even claimed that he went to the center of hell where he saw the devil himself. The devil was even shocked at how his heart had turned out to be so cruel during that ritual, because he dedicated the life of 24 people, the people that he knew that were supposed to die within 24 months. So he said each and every hour, he said, you need to dedicate someone so that you can proceed to the next hour. The spirit of that person, after it would have been captured by the demons, that will give you the energy and the strength to proceed. The mistake that I did was that in the first hour, I dedicated the life of my sister. When I dedicated the life of my sister, I saw a bright shining light. Little did I know that my sister was covered by the grace, since her husband, my brother-in-law, was a very prayerful man. When I dedicated the life of my sister during that ritual, when I was inside that coffin, that was where things went wrong, and I did not find the strength and the energy to proceed with the ritual. After I panicked and I said I cannot do this, and I pulled that rope that they had told me to pull if I could not take it anymore. That was when I had them digging up the grave in which they had buried me into, and I felt so sad. I started crying. My friend was disappointed in me, and he said he had tried to assist me. Unfortunately, he could not proceed with assisting me anymore, for the money does not belong to him, it belongs to the shrine. When I asked him for 100K so that I can start an honest business, because I had failed as a ritualist, living My life right now as a poor migrant here in South Africa, it pains me a lot knowing that I once had that opportunity to become rich, but I failed myself. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Can you just imagine?